That Z Podcast.
I've never. We've done what 13 episodes now, and I've never been this nervous doing an episode with any guest, as I am with the man we have today. But I won't blame him too much. I think it's the lighting.
Right.
By the way, we are at Kazadi Studios, and thanks a lot to David Kazadi for making this happen for us today. Special episode with a major celebrity. This guy actually thinks is being tested by the devil. He is John Chitty with the light skin. He's been the shit for a long time, and is a real bad boy, famous for the long D. Should I even mention his name with what I've said right now?
That Z Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. We talk to Zambian movers and shakers, the change makers, the achievers. We also discuss interesting topics. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, That Z Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Listen to That Z Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Anchor. That Z Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. Hosted by K+.
It's K+, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bobby Day Walker. Loving the studio guest. Crew/guest. Bobby, how have you been, bruv?
I'm good, bro. What's up?
I'm feeling a little bad for you right now because of the number of questions we have for you today. And we met at the barbershop about 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
And I was just happy with how enthusiastic you were about coming on this show. And I was thinking to myself, does he know what he's about to put himself through?
I live on the edge, man.
That's good.
Did you actually cut your hair that day?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, bro. Just saying.
My guy.
Bobby walked in.
And then, you know how famous Bobby is you're at the barbershop and there's TV screens all over the barbershop. And the moment I mention that, I know a lot of people know which barbershop I'm talking about. And Bobby is on all the screens. Do you get like a free haircut in a barbershop?
Yeah, I do actually.
What do I need for a free haircut? To be famous? Yeah, I need. No, like what do I need to be, Bobby, to reach that level where I can just.
I could put in a word for you. That's something I can make happen.
I was aiming for that one. You can do it.
Dude, we just started.
So quick disclaimer.
Bobby,
Bobby, let me tell you.
We just started.
I hope you got bouncers here. Bobby walked in with one of the biggest guys I've ever seen with a mean mug look on his face. This guy looks like he would punch me if I ever say shit.
Which is why I'm keeping the sex tape issue for the end. You know what I mean?
We might as well just get it out of the way, though.
No, let's talk about his music first before we get to the sex tape. But you're okay with that. We'll talk about that later on. Bobby, in the last interview we had with Slap D,
yeah.
I think let's start from there. We were very impressed today that when we called you for the interview,
yeah,
you were on time. You were there before any of us.
Yeah.
And Slap said Bobby can sleep the whole morning. So we're quite impressed.
Nah, he was wrong about that.
But he's not the only person who said that. Coin
No,
said the same thing as well.
the thing that they just didn't mention is that I like to do things at my own time. But
yeah,
if I tell you I'll be somewhere at a particular time,
you'll be there.
I'll be there. If I'm running late, I'll let you know. I'm not a douchebag.
That is true. He called me right on time this morning when we were meant to meet. And the rest of the crew wasn't even there yet.
I take people's time very seriously.
I respect you
We
for
apologize
that.
for not taking yours seriously.
I
We're all
respect
late.
you for that.
We're all late, yeah.
No, speak for yourself. I was there on time.
No, you're not.
Yeah, the hell I was.
I found Bobby there and he said not there.
He went shopping. I saw him.
Yeah.
He was buying a pair
Right.
of kicks. Yeah.
Okay, Elson. I'm sorry I said that.
Probably got a big date.
About that, we'll talk about that off screen, but yeah. Anyway, Bobby, so
Real recognize real.
It is what it is.
Bobby, you disappear every 2 years and come up with an album like only after 2 years. Where do you go when you disappear?
Home. I sit. I read. With me, like the music just has to come from like a real place. I can't fake it. I can't. That's why when they tell me, no, we need a single now, I tell them I might have a single tomorrow. I might have one in June. I don't know. So I don't really disappear. I'm just, if you call me or you come to my house, you'll find me there. It's just that sometimes I work smart and not hard.
And then I remember on also that TV show again, My Life is a Movie. You mentioned that sometimes you don't like your own music. Could that be the reason why sometimes you...
I think if you are a creative, you always have like a moment of doubt. Like if you're not your biggest critic, then you might as well stop. So I go through like even just the smallest thing, like people work with me, like they really get annoyed because sometimes I'll be like, okay, the song is ready, then I'll go home, I'll listen to it, and I'm like, there's a sound, like there's a snare, like there's something in the background that's not clean. Can we fix that? I'm that type of guy.
Have you ever had a song that, you know, you underestimated, you didn't think much about it, but went out and became a hit?
Van Damme.
Serious?
Yeah.
I thought we all loved that song from the onset, man.
Nah, because the song was initially created for like the album, and I wasn't feeling it at all. I have to shout out Nez, because he was like, no, this is the song, bro. And when he put it out and it became a hit, he saved me there, because I needed a song in the clubs at the time.
Speaking of Nez, there's word going around about you and Nez, the song Input. I know the T is silent. It's not input, as we Zambians would pronounce it. It's input.
Input.
Apparently, you guys stole that song from White Celeb. What's the full story behind the song, man?
We did.
You did?
We did.
That's honesty.
I know, right?
I'm playing, bro. I've been avoiding like getting into that because there's a certain way that maybe I'm a bit old school. Some things I look at them and I'm like, this is not gangster. And I try to avoid them, but then again, when you keep quiet too much, it's like, yo, maybe that's what happened for real. The reason I avoided it is because I know Celeb has my number. If he had a grievance at any point, he could have called me and said, yo, bro, what's up with the song and whatnot. The fact that all of that was said in interviews, and a bunch of names were called out, for me just looks like it's a game. So every time it's addressed, it kind of looks like you are playing into what he's trying to achieve. I don't know what that is. But the short of the story is, if you listen to Input, and you listen to Van Damme, and you listen for a long time, they're kind of like they've got the same vibe. The reason is simple. That song was created when I was making the Vanilla album. So we had the beat, but the idea was I wanted to sound like really, really English proper, but I wanted it to have like a rough edge. So that's when I reached out to, it wasn't White Celeb alone. At the time, it was 408 Empire. But at the time, there was 2 of them. I linked them up. They were actually doing a show together at Evelyn Horn on the same day, so I linked up with them. I was like, yo, let's work on a record. They said, okay, cool. That was White Celeb and Ray D. Went to the booth. I'll give him this much. He's the one who came up with it. He's like, let's do a song called like Input. I was like, oh.
White Celeb came up with that?
Yeah, he came up with the idea. I was like, oh, cool, that's nice. So I did my part first, and then he did his part, and then he added like half a verse, and Ray D half a verse as well, and they were like, we're gonna come back and finish the song. I was like, okay, cool. In the time that it took to get the album ready and whatnot, the song didn't make the cut, and I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
Nez again, being the clever guy that he is, he was trying to come out with a single, and we've got hard drives. Like, there's so much of all the songs that you hear, there's like 20 that are just sitting on a hard drive somewhere. And some of them are probably big songs. I'll never know because I never put them out. But he was listening to the old music and was like, yo, there's a song that I found. Can I use this? I was like, oh, okay, cool, but I've got the guys on this record. So before you record on it or anything, call White Celeb and let him know that you want to use the song. And he called him. From what I heard, they agreed. Not only did they agree, he told them, I want to shoot a video for the song, and the brother came through, and the video shot, and the song came out. Everything else is just bullshit that I see online, and I'm like, ugh.
So it's not White Celeb peddling that story, is it? It's just the rumor mill.
Well, from what I never watched the interview, but from what I heard, he himself said, nah, the song was stolen. And I can't manage every story that comes out. I'll be responding to nonsense for the rest of my life. So I'm just like, there's an agenda here, but I don't want to play into it. So all of us just decided to ignore it.
You know, when I listen to such a story and then I analyze songs like Van Damme for a long time, most of these songs start out like they're yours, but somewhere along the line, they sort of, the narrative sort of switches, and like for a long time.
Yeah.
That sort of as your song.
Yeah.
Van Damme as well, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel you get enough credit as a writer in this country?
I don't mind. I've written a lot of music,
Yeah.
a lot. Some of it I'm not even on it. Some of it is like songs for singers, and these are songs that have blown up. I believe that if you agree with the artist at the time, that you shouldn't get credit for the record, that's fine. It's okay. Just give me my coins. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind, man. Just pay me. There's a lot of people who do a lot of work that never get their time in the sunlight. At least I get like recognition for my own records, and that's enough.
Then there's issues, man. Like we spoke to Slap D about issues at XYZ, and one of them was the migration. Remember we spoke about people leaving XYZ to join other record labels, and others form their own, things like that. There's been a rumor about, you and H-Mac. Well, rumor has it H-Mac worked and saw Slap take a lot of money for himself without reinvesting in, the label XYZ. Hence, people leaving XYZ and all that. Has Slap D ever touched any of your endorsement money?
Personally?
Yeah.
Well, I was signed under him, so he gets a cut. He gets a cut. So yeah, when he said I fulfilled my contract, that's what he meant. Every time you go into an agreement with someone, they get a cut of what you make.
Yeah, because,
Speaking of,
yeah.
I don't know if you had been signed to XYZ yet, or it was before that, but you did not speak highly, or you didn't have anything nice to say about Slap D and Mikey 2 as you were coming up.
As in speaking on them.
You didn't like the match, did you?
I didn't know.
You even
them.
made a song about it. Or
I
you didn't like them?
I didn't. Well, to be honest, I met Slap a little bit earlier. It's a funny story. I met him through a guy who's here. What's up, Lloyd?
Yeah?
Lloyd got the biggest break because me and Lloyd grew up like in the same area, and he got the first break. He was signed to XYZ, and I was like, "Yo, brother."
This Lloyd
Wait,
was
look, you're a rapper.
the hell?
I know, right?
You thought I was making it up?
I thought you were making it up.
No,
Wait.
I'm not making
There's
it
some
up.
explaining to do, bro.
You are a rapper.
I just did it.
So I met
Okay.
Slap D through
Yeah.
Lloyd, who was signed to XYZ at the time. And I was like, yo, Lloyd, can you set up a meeting? Because myself and my other, yours is like a happy reunion, my other friend, JLB, who's in the other room, we make beats, so can we give him some beats and stuff like that? And he, to his credit, he set up the meeting, and we met him in Woodlands, somewhere where he used to live. And after that, we were kind of like, I won't lie to you, we wanted that XYZ deal because we were coming from Matera, and it was like a big deal, like, yo, it's XYZ. But it never came. And we ended up going to the Copper Belt. When I was on the Copper Belt, I met Maki too, and he was super cool. He would come by the studio. So I've never truly had a grievance with any of them.
Wasn't a song that you made where you spoke about how you didn't like Maki 2?
Oh, that's a song that came out after like I was signed to XYZ Entertainment. It's a play on words. It's like I never used to like you guys because you had what I wanted.
Ah, it was out of admiration.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think just delving a little bit more on the issue we spoke about, people migrating from XYZ and all. Do you feel that people who left were just wrong about Slap D's management style, or were you getting special treatment and that's why you never left? Why did everybody leave?
It has been extremely difficult for
Yeah.
me. In the same, like I said, there's certain things that I see, but it's really hard to talk about because there's like a street code of ethics in me, 'cause that's the old school in me. There's just certain things that I owe certain people. Like H. Wherever our relationship goes, whatever happens, for me, it's easy to remember just like the dope stuff that we went through. And like, the thing you have to understand with H is that he likes to nurture. Yeah. So when you are the weakest link in the group or the one who's not popping the most, he'll concentrate on you and like leave, like everyone else who's like they're settled to be like, nah, you can bounce. Let me concentrate. So there was a time when I think I was the weakest link in XYZ, and that's when we became like the closest. When
You were the weakest link at some point.
yeah, and when I blew up, I just think he thought, let me like transfer this energy into like the kids and whatnot, which I don't mind at all. It's because of H, and H alone that I keep my mouth shut.
I was about to ask, like, how's the relationship now between you and H-Mac, considering he left and you're still there?
Yo, bro, it's always gonna be love from my end.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken in a while because of some conduct of what. There's certain things that his artists did that I didn't consider gangster.
Like what?
I didn't like it. My name was being mentioned in interviews, for example, in a bad light. I didn't like that at all. The one thing that helps me, I'm not a perfect human being. I have my flaws, I have my mistakes. The one thing that helps me sleep at night is that I know I've never made money off anyone. I took being the CEO of XYZ, like I volunteered. I never asked for a salary. Everyone I've ever signed, I've never asked for a cut. They might give a cut to the company. I have never earned money off any musician. All the money I've ever made has been off the Bobby's brand. For me, I kind of see it like our industry is like, it's growing. It's a baby, and sometimes you need to nurture some stuff before you start reaping from it. You get what I mean? From the time I was in Chunga doing the no intro setup where it was like, it's a studio and kids used to come there and record for free, to the time I moved on and tried to start mentoring these other guys, I've never asked for a cut or any other type of money. So if a person is gonna try their best to push for you and get nothing in return, you shouldn't, no matter how you feel at the time, you shouldn't slander their name, especially in like interviews. That I didn't like.
What's the worst thing that's been said in those interviews that really ticked you off?
No, it was just basically my name came up more than anyone else's name. You get what I mean? I was portrayed as the villain. And in my head, I'm like, yo, if someone is the villain, then tell the story of how this person screwed you over. Or like they got something that wasn't like entitled to them. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That offended me because in my era, whenever someone gives you like a chance or a platform to push your art, you kind of owe them. The same way I owe Ben Blazer.
But isn't that a good thing, though? I mean, the fact that you talked about shows how good you are. Because hip-hop is a very competitive sport, right? So if you are a non-factor, they wouldn't speak about you. We are getting a lot of heat, and we look at it as a compliment.
Yeah.
So don't you look at it that way? Because there's a lot of other people in hip-hop, and none of those really were mentioned in interviews.
The people that give you hit is not people like you personally signed. You get what I mean?
Right.
Just
Like
people
you-
used to come through to the studio.
Like there's a certain young man, he literally said, nah, this guy didn't, when we were doing the auditions, this guy didn't like me and whatnot. I'm like, bruh, I was no one told you I was the deciding factor in signing you that day. Whatever critiques I gave you at the time,
Right.
it's because I saw potential in you, but I was the deciding factor in signing you. I gave you your shot. What you do with that shot is up to you. I'm the coach, I signed the player. Whether you're gonna play good on the pitch or what, that is up to you.
Yeah.
But you do not go then and go slander the coach.
You're talking about Browen, right?
Yeah, if we're gonna call a spade a spade.
Figured as much. So this is why he thinks you don't like him. He feels you were holding him back in some way when actually the person who signed him up, right?
I signed him. Brian, if you're watching this, I signed you.
But he didn't know that. He wasn't privy to that information.
I don't know if nobody told him at the time or what. I was the deciding factor. There was someone else who was leading. There was a panel of judges.
Yeah.
And I kind of overruled everybody. I was like, I see something.
So he should be apologizing and thanking you right now.
But I get slandered. And I'm like, for what?
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, maybe you can look in the camera and just tell him to apologize, man. Like,
No, it's all good, man. Listen, bro, I'm in a good place. I really, negativity is something that I look at and I brush it off. But there's just a certain code of conduct. There's just some things that I look at and I'm like, this is not gangster. That's all.
in your lyrics, I think before I even come to the lyrics, you mentioned just a minute ago how you were one of the weakest links and then things changed. What changed and what made Bobby East today in that period when you were from the weakest to the strongest in the clique?
What generally happened was I was signed, and then when I was signed, there was like a team that was assigned to create music for everyone and just be like, it was very controlled. And in that moment, I found myself making music that wasn't authentic to me. I was making music that would make Slap happy because he signed me. But after a while, I realized I'm not Slap D.
So were you trying to sound like Slap D when you're starting out?
I think the content, I was trying to make content that was relatable to him and that he would like. So after a while, I realized I'm going down the wrong road here. I have to detach myself and find myself again. And that's when he talks about me disappearing. I really did. Like I went to look for like a different sound and I went everywhere. Just searching for something that was gonna spark like my creativity and whatnot. And then I remembered, there was this tall guy that used to come to the studio. He said he's got a young producer I should meet. And I remember, like this is before like the internet really blew up. So I was able to get on a bus and I took a walk and I found Nez and he was like, yo man, I need you to meet this producer, he's dope. And we walked into like this one room apartment he was staying in Matero. And there's this boy. I thought he was messing with me. He was like, come and meet the producer I'm talking about. I walk in and I kid you not, there's like a 13 to 14-year-old boy in like a Kablonga boy's uniform.
What?
Seated. I'm like, bruh. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And the kid is just there and he's like, no, play him some stuff. Then he played me the most complicated beats I've ever heard in my life. I don't mean this in a good way. Like, they were just like, everything was on there. And I told him, I was like, this is some of the most musical stuff I've ever heard, but no one can rap or sing on this. Every melody, every pocket that's there on the beat has been covered already. You already have the musical like knowledge. Now you need to learn restraint and take out some stuff. These beats needs to be like stripped down and whatnot. There was like, no, there's one other guy, blah, blah, blah. He's in Emersdale, walked from Matero to Emersdale.
Damn.
We met another guy called Dash, and I was like, yo, I've got this beat from this boy. Can you strip it down for me? And he stripped it down. After that, I was like, okay, this combo might work. This guy knows where to play stuff, and this kid is just like super musical. And we just went into the studio like a whole week, and we recorded what was supposed to be like my first album.
Going back to something that you touched on a little, your relationship with HMAC, right?
Yeah.
I think when you were CEO of XYZ, I don't know what your relationship was like and how much, he was your manager, right?
Yeah.
And how much influence he had in you, in your career, but I hear that he felt he deserved a cut of whatever deals that you might have signed, and that there was tension between you and him when it came to what he deserved.
That's not where the tension came in from.
Was there anything to do with money though?
No.
Girls?
Nothing to do with 500,000?
Nothing to do with money, nothing to do with, on my end.
Were you fighting
And
for
on
no,
his?
No, I'm talking about on our relationship, me and him.
Yeah.
It wasn't a money thing. You have to understand, me and this guy have worked for the longest time, and in all of that time, we had to be very transparent with how much we were making and how much somebody needed. So, it wasn't the money thing, it wasn't about girls. There's something he feels aggrieved about, and I think he thinks I didn't pick a side.
So, but has he mentioned anything to do with money? Because I hear a specific amount, which is 500K.
7 grand. Yeah.
I do not know anything about no 500K.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
Are you guys on
about
talking terms?
As of right now, no.
Okay. All right.
You mentioned something that was also prominent on the Slap D interview. Walking from Material to where?
Emersdale.
Emersdale. Oh, no, the distance is not that bad.
It's not that bad.
But these were like days where, the struggle was real for you, yeah?
It was.
Do you feel, I'm starting seeing a relationship between, I wouldn't want to say you grew up poor or anything like that. I think that would be an insult. But it's almost as if, how do I put this? Okay, let me say it in the most naked way I can put it. There are very few musicians that come from rich families and excel in music. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
it's
rare.
almost, it is true, right?
That's very rare. I mentioned that at one point.
Yeah, so it's almost if the struggle makes you a better artist.
Yeah.
Very few, maybe one in this country came from a well-to-do family that did well.
Yeah.
But why is it so? The hunger?
It's the hunger.
Yeah.
Though to be fair to my parents, we were not.
That's why I said that I thought it was going to be an insult.
We were not rich, but they tried. Like they sent me to Zikas. Like I was relatively okay. It was just me, just trying to branch out and do my own thing. And in trying to do that, I had to prove that I could do it by myself.
Right.
I was actually more interested in your journey, right? Because I want to know you as a person, right?
Yeah.
So your upbringing before music, how you then got into music, etc. Because I don't know how much of that people know. You know what I mean? So I was more interested in getting to know you as a person.
Anyone who was with me in school will tell you that I was a quiet kid in class.
You still seem very quiet right now.
Yeah, but I'm like way more expressive than I was back then. I was super, super, super quiet. A lot of people don't know this. I was top of my class almost my entire academic like life. Like my mom thought I would be a doctor or something like that, and I leaned more into being like a creative. And it took a while for them. But God bless my parents, man. They're really cool people. The studio that I spoke about, the No Intro studio, where we first started like trying to do music, this was like in Chunga, like a complex that my dad owned, and he gave us one room. We didn't have to pay rent. And that's how come I could allow other kids to come in and just do like songs for free. Because we're trying to build a movement. In the beginning, I had like a very romantic view of what music was supposed to be.
Right.
In that it was just like an expression, and I only started thinking about numbers after I had my son.
So the fact that you came from money, is that also part of why you can release a song, 1-2 songs in a year?
No, I didn't technically come from money, to be honest with you. Like I said, my parents are just like really, they're hardworking, but they're not rich.
It wasn't a soft life.
It wasn't. I've had ups and downs. There was a time when I was really young and my dad had like a lot of money. Then he kind of lost it all. When he did that, we had to move from Villa, where I grew up, and we moved to Chunga. And I wasn't used to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad was like, I need to go for work. He just had a plot there, and they made quickly like a 2-roomed house. And he left. He went to Kawe to go and work. So it was myself and my 2 siblings staying in this like 2-roomed house with no electricity.
Damn.
Nothing. And there were times where I remember this clearly. There were times when it was raining and the roof is like coming off the house. And I'd grab like this like metal thing, and I started like
pulling it back down.
Pulling it back, and I'm like maybe 11, 12 years old. I'm pulling the roof so that the roof doesn't lift off our house.
Yeah. Were you the firstborn then?
Yeah. And I rap in one of my records. I'm like, Nezopanya Miala, it's a true story. Like my hands are super smooth now. But there was a time when like, just to help my mom with food and whatever, and just to get like a school bag and whatever, I broke like, with using my hands. I was a kid, like this much stones. Every day after school, I'd go down and I'd break that stuff.
Well, why were you breaking stones?
For sale.
Damn.
Like stone crushers?
Yeah, I get it.
Business,
yeah. What did your dad do?
My dad.
Work-wise?
So now you've heard, okay, so now that would be like advertising or whatever.
No, don't worry about it.
It's not TV. Yeah.
Boom for the bread, you know that one? Yeah. So my dad has always been in baking. So he's behind that. He works for the company that creates that. So he came up for the recipe for that bread.
Do you want sponsorship now that you mentioned it?
No, but now I want some money too, Dad, if you're watching this.
Your dad supports you a whole lot, man. We've seen times when he's come up on social media to defend you over so many issues. Have you guys always been that tight-knit?
My dad was super close. My dad is a cool dude, man.
He's like a real nigga, you know what I mean?
My dad's a cool, like he could come here and sit and hang out and like he's cool, he's good people.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there was a time when he left for a few years and when he came back, credit to him, he came back and he rebuilt our lives again and we went back into a bit of normalcy. So I've just had I've experienced both
lives.
Both lives. Like
you and me both, man.
I've had times when I was privileged and there were times when I was, so I can survive in anything, bro. That's why every time there's an attack or some stuff, I'm like, bro, you don't know what I've been through.
Without giving away your address, where do you live now?
Ibex.
Yeah. My yardie. So do you ever go back to Matera maybe just for
That's
that?
the same neighborhood that I live.
I live in Ibex still as well, so.
At least I got a place to come and borrow sugar from.
I know,
I
right?
got you. Not much of a sugar person, but...
Whatever, something. We'll find something to borrow, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you ever go back to Matera maybe just to reminisce and see where you came from, the struggles you
Why
went
the
through?
hell would you do that?
Dude, see where you came from.
I love material. I love it. There's certain music that I used to make when I had the Daywalker persona that I could only make because I was in material. Because I was listening to the lingo, I'd meet up with the guys and they'll say something ridiculous. I'm like, yo, that's really dope. You don't know that you said that. I'm going to write that down. So there was a point, when I was feeling super, whatever, nostalgic or whatever, I was like, yo, I told the guys, I'm moving back to material. Are you crazy? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm moving back. So I got an apartment in material. And I moved back, and I forgot that when you just go there or whatever, there's always we call it the welcoming something or whatever. They always break into your house and steal your
Oh yeah, that happened to me in Ibex Hill when we just moved to Lusaka.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Crap, man. Yeah, but so here it's worse.
So they broke into my house, they stole me. I'm like, I came back for y'all.
With the love,
And you got steal from me?
You stealing from me? I was just like that scene in Training Day.
Oh yeah, with Denzel, right?
How you gonna steal from me?
Well, so did you stay or did you move?
I stayed, but then that was and then someone had to talk to me. I was like, yo, listen, man, you just can't. There's no way.
Some of the hardest things that I've seen at Matera, actually.
Some of the hardest what?
Girls that I've seen at Matera.
There's some logic to that, which I can't even share to the public, man.
No, go ahead. It's just us three here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What logic is that?
Well, I don't know if it's a joke.
Well, say it then.
What this says no.
No, okay.
So Bobby, about moving back to Matera.
Am I the only one that wants to hear this?
I can say no, don't.
You do want to hear it. Martin, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
Okay, I heard this story.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I hope people from Matera don't attack me. Martin is saying no.
What do you mean,
Martin, can you please leave?
I'm right here.
Yeah, he's right here. He's
what
from
do you mean
Matera.
people from Matera?
Go ahead.
Martin, just you should come and stand in the middle here.
It doesn't matter.
Nah, man, it's just some silly, very, very, very silly story about how some guy was talking about. Where were we?
Just say, why are you building it up?
The suspense is killing you, huh?
Nigga.
Some guy was sharing a story about how he says when you look at material girls, they are shaped a certain way because they have to squat when using the toilet. So that's squat every day. So I'm like, there are no toilets in material.
That is crazy.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
What, so guys don't have to squat?
That is ludicrous. No, you have to understand that material was
Back in the
for
day,
its time, it was very urban because they had those council houses.
Yeah.
A lot of them are scattered all over the township, and those have toilets you can flush. So that story, they just.
I found it unbelievable. Dude, are you serious? And he just went away laughing. So I didn't have an answer to that.
Nah, there's just something.
funny, though.
There's just something in the water.
The material water.
The material water.
Dude, you mentioned you had a son, at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah, what's
you
his
only,
name?
You only have one child?
I have one child
That you know of.
that I know of.
Yeah. Because this girl's gonna be
Have you
crafty,
heard
bro.
rumors though about others that you may not have known about?
No.
What's his name?
His name is Caden.
Kaden, this is the famous guy on Great East Road, yeah?
Yeah,
All over the
yeah.
billboards. You've seen
Yeah.
him?
Right, yeah, I have. How old is he?
He's turning 4 this month, actually.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Do you see any of you in him, like character-wise?
Annoyingly so.
I hate when that happens, man.
Annoyingly so.
Yeah.
Like, it's just in small things. Like, when he's trying to take a picture, he'll be like he'll do like a little pause, and then I've noticed that
That's what you do as well.
Yeah, and he likes to keep to himself. Like, you can't. The biggest trait that he has is like, you know how when you go into a house and you see a kid, you're like, hey, come here, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like, nah,
I ain't doing that.
Like I'm
I ain't doing.
that shit.
When you forget about it, 30
Yeah.
minutes later, he'll come say hi.
Warms up to you.
Yeah.
He
Like he
doesn't.
analyzes it when I comes through the
No,
door.
he
eh?
doesn't. He doesn't want you to do like
to treat him like a kid.
like at your time.
Right.
Oh,
Kind of say the same. Yeah.
full circle.
It comes full circle.
yeah. It's come back to you. What you did slap just comes back to you through your son.
Exactly.
Yeah, you make slap D wait, your son makes you wait.
Yeah.
So he makes you wait. so
so
when he's
he-
ready, then he comes back
When
to
he's
you.
ready, like I don't give him pressure. Hey, come here. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, when he's
Leave
ready,
him.
he'll come.
Interesting. Really cool guy though. Really, really cool guy. I like the material element and all that. So you wanted to find out more about how he came into the industry. Was that
Yeah.
H Mac and all?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your biggest, your first, song that made you feel like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm getting into the game now.
So we were in Chunga and we signed like a bunch of people. And I remember our biggest, like our marquee signing was supposed to be Alfa Romeo. He's a guy I grew up with as well.
Yeah.
So we got a few of his singles ready, and they started bubbling under a little bit, and he did something that we were upset with at the time, but looking back at it now, it's like logical. It's like, yeah, it was like the next step. He met KB and they took a deal with K-Army. And they kind of re-recorded the records that we had done for him, even though like they were bubbling under already. And me and my brother Jay, shout out Jay, he's in the next room, we felt some type of way about it. And we were like, yo, bruh, let's keep the beats to ourselves and let's rap, man. So, but what ended up happening is there's another young lady, Francia, who we grew up with as well. We were doing her album, what we thought was her album.
What was the album?
Yeah, because like at the time we really didn't look into the technical side of the business, and by that I mean just like the mixing and the general quality of the music sounded good, but the mixing wasn't where it needed to be because we had like stuff we needed to learn, you know. So what happened is she met Ben Blazer and Peterson, and then she played them her songs. And they were like, yo, you sing really well, but then who produced this stuff? And she's like, it's a guy called JLB, and he's from Chunga. And they were like, word? Okay, cool. So they showed up in Chunga. It's like Peterson and Ben, that was crazy. And like, this is Peterson when he's at Munyaule level.
Yeah.
And they show up and they're like, yo, you all need to come to the Copper Belt. Actually, they told Jay, because Jay was like the main producer, like, yo, you need to come to the Copper Belt and work for me, pretty much. So after what happened with Alpha, I was like, yo, that's pretty much it, man. Jay is gone as well. I'm going to try to hold it down and whatnot. But at the time, I was like, okay, so our lead producer is gone. I need to start like grooming another guy. Then another guy came in, Tishon, and was like, yo, I'll work with you guys and whatnot. But after a while, credit to Jay, after like a month or so, he called me. I was like, no, come to the Copper Belt. Come see what's going on here. I think the vibe here is like, it's okay. We can launch from here.
That's with Ben Blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I went to the Copper Belt, and I ended up spending like a long time over there in Kitwe, just learning from Ben. And every time we were not doing like small jobs for him or whatever, would have some time to record our songs. And I remember I went to South Africa once, and then he came back after a few weeks and he listened to everything. I was like, a lot of this is trash. But this song and this one, these are hits. And the song that he chose, that was mine, was like, I hated it so much. And I was like, no, there's something here. This is a hit.
Yeah.
So he chose a J.O.B. record called Going Higher. It had like a
Shaka Zulu thing.
A Shaka sample.
Yeah.
And then there was a record I did called Mafiompebos, which like talked about Paloma.
Blue, man. Yeah.
So it was like, nah, this is a hit. And I hated it. And it was like, nah. And that was the first time I ever heard anyone put like, this is before trap. He put like 808s underneath the song. If you hear it, boom, boom, it's still one of my best mixed songs.
I remember I was one of the first people Ben gave that song. Remember I was in Yari filming.
Yeah.
You guys came to the studio bragging about, and you were just there in the background, not talking about your own song. I think we spoke to Ben more about your song than we did with you.
Ben loved it. He was convinced it's the song. I was just like, I don't know about all this, bruh. But he insisted. He's like, no. This is the song. On the CD that he made, it was like the first song. And then there was Going Higher, and then there was Francia's record, Umtoko Fiom.
I think I still have that CD somewhere.
And then those two songs blew up. And the one that was on top, my record, for months, it was just like, bubbling under. So Jay would be performing somewhere, I just go, I'm backing him up and whatnot. Until this one day, I'm like on a bus to the Landa, then I hear the song, it's like they're bumping it. It blew up in like a week, and it was like a big hit. Like, it was ridiculous how viral it went.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all three of us had like hit records, and Ben was like a genius who discovered this like 3 kids from Chunga and whatnot. And that was creatively, that was like some of the best times for me, because Ben is like a master of his craft.
Yeah, big time.
Was that the first time that you also realized you were famous? Like, tell me the first time that you realized you were popular.
I went, like I said, Jay had like a huge year. Because after that record drop, he had like maybe 3 other records dropped that were Leia. So he had like a bunch of shows. So I'd go out and I'd back him up, and then he'd be like, yo, do that one song of it. Then I'll do like Mafiompebos, and people would just be looking at me. This one time, we're at Nipa, and immediately the boom, 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 boom. People just go, ah! I'm like, what the hell? Is this my song? I turned around, I was like, is that for somebody else? And they just start singing the song word for word.
Damn.
I'm like, bruh.
Shit.
I just stood there.
Yeah.
I forgot to
Starstruck by your own.
I was like, and there's still days when I feel like that, when I'm doing like a festival.
Yeah.
Like the time, people don't talk about this enough. I was the first Zambian act to headline Oktoberfest. Before that, they used to do foreign acts only.
Yeah.
And I remember they had said that we're expecting maybe 5,000 people because it's a local act and it's a new venue and blah, blah, blah. They did over 10,000 people.
Damn.
And I remember walking out and the band starts playing the songs and everyone just erupts. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, it still humbles me till today. I do not take that for granted at all.
Then there's personas, Vanilla Rob, Daywalker, Bobby East. Who's made you the most money? Because I'm sure like every song has a different personality, right?
So Daywalker got me where I needed to be in terms of like just being like with like the rap fans and like rap fans mostly, to be honest. But like with the Daywalker persona, I could say anything and everything. Like nothing was like cuss words or whatever. Like whatever I'm gonna say it. And
he's the guy.
He's the guy
that you go to when you want to speak out.
And then I realized that I needed to clean up the music if I wanted to get like corporate money, and if I wanted to like start doing like shows where there are kids there and whatnot. And that's how I made the transition to Vanilla. Vanilla Rob has made me the most money. It's not even like a comparison and whatnot.
I want to speak about that, but I actually need your advice on this. Do you feel, because Nkaling and I are sort of facing the same challenge, where you know how it's difficult to have an opinion and still make real money or keep a job at the same time. So we have corporates that would like to work with us, but then they're going to give you their terms.
Yeah.
You can't or cannot, you can or can't say A, B, C, and D. You can or cannot have this guest, A, B, right? So the most interesting people that I would like to talk to, I cannot.
Yeah.
Because corporates won't allow that.
Yeah.
So with what you have just said, that you have to clean up your music, so you get the bag.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're also compromising your music? You're also alienating some of your day one fans?
For sure. For sure.
To secure the bag.
To secure the bag, for sure. Like
So F the
there's a word for it in the entertainment circles. It's called selling out.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, without a
I
doubt.
like your honesty. I love this
Point
guy's
blank.
honesty. Yeah.
Without a doubt, I sold out.
Yeah, Jay-Z did the same thing, man.
Yeah.
He's like your favorite rapper, so I mean, I'm sure you understand his plight.
I sold out. Like I said, all of this is stuff that I never used to think about until I had my son. When I had my son, it was very simple. Feed my son or like
Appease the few.
appease people. I'm like, yo, it's not like once you sell out, then all your stuff is garbage. There's people who like it.
Right.
It's only because people like it that they'll pay for it. It's just not the people that are the most passionate. And that's the unfortunate part. And that's how come when you start doing your album, you're like, yo, can I create a balance of like, can I have some of these elements in there? But then what comes in now is like, is it true?
Right.
Is it true? One of my first singles, like a real street single, was called Zanpeza Kumatero. Do you know why it's called that? I was in Matero.
Yeah.
That's why I was in Matero at the time doing the record. I can't pretend that I'm in the streets anymore.
Yeah. So how do you make your money now?
Well, I do shows, I do endorsements, I do influencing. The business has evolved in such a way that there's so many avenues to make money if you're clever that you don't even need to leave your house. We are transitioning into a place now where I'm trying to, like with the club performances, I'm starting to turn some of them down so that we can start doing festivals and take it to the next level.
Right.
And do actual concerts and appearances rather than the model has to change from when you have to do a show every weekend for you to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart. You mentioned, I know there's a direction that you want to go,
Feel free, man. Feel
but
free.
based off a couple of things that pop up, I keep getting follow-up questions. So you kept mentioning J.O.B. You guys made songs together. You guys hustled together.
Yeah.
But you guys had a lot more in common than just songs and hustle.
That's what you want to bring up.
That's what I want to bring up. Should I get ready for that punch that you...
That's what you want to bring up.
Yeah, man.
Man, the only thing that makes me, I'm like an open book, I'm good. The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is bringing like other people's, like if I talk about my business and I'm bringing another person's like business in the fold.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the young lady in question. She could be married right now and she's trying to like leave that in the past. Then all of a sudden that Z podcast with Bobby East and they said blah, blah. Because of that,
Right.
I really wouldn't want to get into that for the sake of the young lady. I think Jay wouldn't mind because we've spoken about it.
We haven't said her name, so we can just speak about Jay then.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Jay.
Yeah. So you guys dated the same chick.
You see, that's why it comes back.
We never mentioned her name.
It comes, no. Like, listen, bro, this stuff is like, it's a public domain. Everybody knows. And I honestly don't want to bring up this young lady's story. I think she's been through enough. I hope she's happy wherever she's at.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she?
I if she dated
No,
Bobby and Jay,
just-
I'm
sorry.
sure she is.
Just sometimes just popped out in my head.
But you know, we
Is
can
she
speak
now?
about her as Jane Doe.
No, like,
anonymous.
it's not anonymous. Like,
a public
no,
story.
it's a public story. It's like in the public domain. So pretty much, yes. That
Do you think people know that you and Jay dated the same girl?
it's on a song, bruh.
So why are you tight about it?
It's on a song, but that was years ago. And even at the time, after the record came out, I was like, yo, I'm just digging up, like I'm bringing up dirt on this young lady, man. She's trying to move on with her life. Then she has to hear about this
Do
two
you still
rappers.
speak with her?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Sex tape. How did it come out?
Stolen phone.
So the phone got stolen and did the person contact you to say, hey, listen, I've got your video?
Yeah.
And they wanted money.
Yeah.
How much?
That was a while back. They wanted like 15K.
Damn.
15 million.
15
then.
million then.
That happened before we were based, yeah.
Yeah, that was 15 million at the time.
Where was the phone stolen? You went to a club and you lost your phone there?
No, actually, our house got broken into, and a bunch of stuff was stolen,
Including the phone.
including the phone, which was charging.
Damn.
15 million.
And they knew who you were then?
Yeah.
So how did they contact you? Facebook?
They found my number. Like, it's easy, man. Like, they made one call, one, two calls.
Yes.
And for a while, I was like, I was like, I gave them a little bit. Then after a while, I was like, this is going to go on for the rest of my life.
I totally agree. When someone blackmails you, just say, you know what, F it, do what you want to do. Because it doesn't end. And it was a pretty good performance. So I'm not mad at you for asking them to release it. Do you feel it made you famous?
No. And a lot of people say this, and they're like, yeah, bro, no, that helped you, and what? It did not help me.
Something anybody would tell you, any publicity is better than no publicity.
No, that is a horrible thing to say. And
so you say it hurt you then?
Extremely. You have to understand, at this point, I'm signed under XYZ.
Yeah.
I've just put out Hate Mail, which is one of the hottest hip-hop records in the country.
Yeah.
I'm working on my album. I've got sponsors. I've got Fanta. Fanta wanted to do like a festival with kids all over the country.
That blows. You lose a lot of money. Damn.
All of that went away. There were those that were shot in my face for 3 years. They said, with this guy, no. No, not this guy. No. Every single day, no. I remember Harry was like trying to push for me just to present like an award, not even get nominated, just to present.
Yeah.
And they said, we can't touch this guy.
But then I get you more gigs though, because I mean, people want to see the guy in the sex video now.
It got me more gigs in the beginning. After it kind of died down, no one really cared about that.
Okay, we've watched the sex tape, we've seen the guy.
Yeah, and then like the music was getting blackballed as well.
Damn.
So I had to lay low for the longest time. I knew the only way, my only redemption was going to be the music. That was the only way. I had to make music that was so hot that you couldn't ignore
it.
You can't ignore me. I spent years without ever playing on radio.
Damn.
But my music was
didn't blacklist you, did they?
They did.
I was still playing your music.
Well, good for you, but a lot of them here did.
Yeah.
And I was just playing in the street.
I like backstories. Where were you when? How did they release the video?
So what
and
happened?
where were you when you first, got wind of your video being out there?
First got wind of it, there's a friend of mine. His name is Chaponda. He called me, and he's like, there's some guy in it's like a techie group on Facebook.
Yeah.
They just talk about video games or whatever. He just posted a video of you.
Shit.
Damn.
And he's like, I don't know if it's you. Then he played it, and then he called me. He's like, yeah, motherfucker, that's you, man. Shit.
How did he recognize you though?
That's my boy. He's like, that's you. I'm like, oh, damn.
Was his face there from the beginning?
And then,
I don't know. I haven't seen the video.
No, I'm consulting from the group here.
And then I wait for like this. It was slowly. This is before like WhatsApp was a thing.
Yeah.
So it was slowly.
So what group then was it posted in?
I have no idea,
And
but
the fire just...
but I would hear like a word from one person. A word, like it wasn't like the way it's done now, where everything is like blows up in a
seconds,
day.
yeah.
It was the worst type of torture because you'd think maybe it's gone away. Then after a week, somebody else
says it.
After a week, somebody else.
Facebook.
I don't know if I know I'm not the only person that thought this, but initially when I heard about this, I thought that sex tape was with Iris. I brought that up with her. She said no. A couple of people that I've spoken to as well figured. Have you heard that they thought it was with Iris?
I've heard that story before.
You've heard that, right?
Crazy part is Iris and I went to the same college, so I think that kind of
that's where the mix-up happened.
That's where the mix-up happened. But I remember like when Iris, like when her thing hit the internet, I was like, yo, how dumb can you be? That was me.
Hers was first.
Hers was first. So I was like, yo, like why would you do that? So that shit taught me humility and just to always look at stuff from the other person's perspective.
It's a light-skinned thing, bro.
Because you don't know. But listen, me and Iris, we took the hit. There's always like the first. We took the hit because right now.
That was new in Zambia, man. Yeah.
Right now, that's like a daily occurrence, and people just kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about anyone else going to court or almost going to prison for. And
did you?
Oh hell yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You in prison for it?
I was arrested.
Yeah.
I went to court. I was fined. Oh, yeah.
When you went to jail, did the people know what you were in there for?
Of course, they've got newspapers. Like, they give them newspapers in there and whatnot.
It was in the newspapers as well.
Front
Wow.
page, bro.
Wow.
It was the
front page,
biggest.
front
It was
page
the
news.
biggest story.
That week, yeah.
It was the biggest.
Jesus.
You
It
gave
was-
us enough content for a week on radio, yeah.
It was the biggest. Like, it was. It's like headlines everywhere, but like the Post front page. I'm like, damn.
What was it like from the video goes out? Trending was not really a word then, but it starts trending. What was your life like? You leaving the yard, going into the streets, heading into town, the malls. What was your life like in that weekend, the weeks following?
I wasn't around. I left. I went to Mpongwe. That was like the wisest decision I made.
You went to what?
Mpongwe.
On the
That's-
Copper Belt.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where my mom's great grandmother is. She's still alive today, over 100 years old.
Damn.
And I went, and my mom told me, yo, that's like the oldest person in the family. Whenever there's a screw up, that's who you go and tell. So I went and I tried to explain.
I was about to say, can she understand?
I tried to explain. She didn't really understand. Then I called my uncle, who explained to her in Shona, and I think she understood. And she was like, And then she told him something else. And then he came to me. She was like, she told us that we should like get a lamb and like make a braai. I was like, okay, cool, thanks, Grandma.
A lot of people, you're strong. A lot of people would actually end up killing themselves from it. The humiliation, people
Embarrassment
talking
to the
about
family
you,
as well.
embarrassment of the family, the money slows down. And I'm sure at some point even Slap D would come and say, hey, listen, now you're fucking with my money. You know what I mean? Because now we're not getting as much money as we used to. So how did you deal with that? Did you
The mental health aspect,
Yeah.
Be tough. That's what they said, the people. Yo, like, listen, once you're in it, you're either gonna be like really, really strong about it, or you're going to like wither away and die. There's no, like I said, up until that point, I'd already been through some shit in my young life. I'd been through so much that just made me like really, really strong mentally. Very strong, to the point where I can lock out any type of hate. I can lock it out. Sometimes I respond to people, but people don't understand that I respond for my own amusement. It's not because I'm upset. It takes a lot to make me angry. I'll respond because I've got a clever response and I'm a witty guy.
Yeah.
But more than anything else, I'm like, mentally, my mind has been through so much in such a way that I even get scared sometimes because it's easy for me to shrug things off. Like everyone else would be like panicking and be like, oh, it's the end of the world. I'm like, psh. It is what,
Yes.
what has happened has happened.
Yeah.
And I just think Zambians, we're very hypocritical people. Because your sex tape comes out, Iris' sex tape comes out, everybody looks at you like you're the bad guy. Everybody's doing this behind the scene. They're just not recording it. But still, when that comes out, look at you like the bad guy, like they're not doing that kind of shit. I think we're a bunch of very hypocritical people.
There was a time when even I was made to feel like I'm dirty or like
Yeah.
and then I honestly I thought about it. I was like, sex is a natural thing, a natural occurrence. Everyone who's walking the earth right now is a product of sex in one way or another. So for it to be labeled in such a, obviously don't record it unless it's like that's your profession, power to you.
But on the upside,
just for the sake of your own, for the sake, and here's the thing, like people don't learn their lesson. Like I wake up sometimes and I deleted Instagram off my phone. I just get someone to post for me because sometimes when I go to like the inbox is like pictures and videos of like young ladies sending like material like that to me.
so
and
hey, I can handle your IG for you.
I was trying to warn them. I'm like, yo, this is something I've been through. You do not want this.
You want to give me your logins?
I am.
No, I don't know why you're laughing, because I'm serious.
No, I'd be like, I'm being lenient on you because this is something you're gonna send this to the wrong person and it will be like circulating like that, especially these days. So I'm like, nah, don't do it. But I know a lot of people still do. the lucky ones who their stuff is still hidden, and then there's me, Iris, and whatever that minister's name is. Yeah.
Oh, crap. Yeah.
But then on the upside, I'm sure it got you so many offers for Pum Pum.
But that's not something I'm really like.
No, whether you're interested in it or not,
I'm
sure
not.
the offers
Offers
must have came.
Yeah, a
Invitation
lot.
to treat.
I'm sure they still are right now, right?
Well, now it's because I'm like a debonair, like superstar guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Famous
that's
for the long D.
yeah, that's just like a little cherry on
Have you
top.
smashed your fans though?
No,
Never.
I've never. And I knew you would ask this question because you asked it at one point.
Who did I ask that? Yes, I did ask him.
I saw that, and I knew you would ask. And
Is that why you came prepared?
no, it's not like I was prepared or anything. But I'll be super, super, super honest with you. No, there are times when I am out on the road, I'm doing shows, and I'll tell you what the biggest issue was, even like back then, and that kind of it helped me. It's paranoia.
What are you
I don't know who
paranoid
to
about?
trust.
It's paranoia. You have to understand that sex tape that you all keep talking about that happened at the like almost at the beginning was when I was trying to like I was being that guy. When I was that guy, I was like, yo, who is this person who I'm like you meet a fan and then you take them where to your room, you doze off and then she takes a picture of
Right,
you,
yeah.
like a video of you. I could not have that kind of hit on me anymore.
That happened to Dangote.
I have to be clean after that.
Yeah.
Because of that, I'm super, super paranoid. So you have to be a person I've gotten to know over a period of
Yeah,
time.
with good reason.
Then, yeah, because you need to, like, you've got stuff to lose too. You just can't be a random fan then because you're going to...
But I'll tell you this though, Bobby. Like you're good, right? Because I haven't watched the video. But
That's strange.
the reviews that you were packing, I woke up today and Nelly was trending on Twitter. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Poor Nelly.
Did you see this?
No.
He accidentally uploaded a video of him getting a BJ onto Instagram.
No!
Yeah.
Shoot.
And people are dragging
Haven't
him
seen
because apparently this guy's got a really small dick.
It's like the
Well,
opposite of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one has got control over the size
No,
of
you
finance,
don't.
man.
But then if you
Maybe-
know you're like that, then turn your camera off, bro.
As long as
Nobody wants to see
your
that.
heart is big and it's got love, that's all that matters.
Do you ever enter buildings and just, since people have seen that video, like, I mean, it was all over the country, all over the world. Do you ever enter buildings, maybe meetings and, wherever, or buying food, whatever, and you feel like people are staring at you or
No.
this area?
No.
Yeah.
No. For me, there was a time where it was the only thing people would talk about.
The size of your dick.
Just the whole debacle. It was the only thing people were talking about. I put in so much work.
Yeah.
So much work that if you ask someone right now, a regular person, that's not the first thing that will come to their mind. They'll think of some songs, they'll think of like some other bullshit, but that won't be. There was a time when that was the only thing people would think about. If you Google my name, that was the first article that would come up.
That's what I asked, yeah.
I've worked so hard to kind of like shift attention away from that.
To the music.
That I don't really. If people do that, man, hey, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to the music, man. Back to the music.
Before you go on to the music,
Yeah.
what's kind of related to the music?
Yeah.
It's still sticking to the mental health issue. I remember when Dave passed, you posted a lot about.
That was my next question, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wanna-
Telepathy.
And we've only known each other 2 months. People
Right.
are shocked. Anyway, yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, you posted a lot about how that hit you.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
You see, when people, I was asked a question the other time, and they're like, "What's the hardest thing that you've gone through?" People think I would go to like the topic we're talking about, but it's stuff like that that has messed me up the most. In 2017, I lost my brother. That was like the start of like my mental health issues. That's when, like, with everything else I could shrug off, but like with death, like that's permanent. Like
Yeah.
my brother is gone, and I went into a depression after that, and I stopped music again, and I just started doing like corporate work, and I came back, and just the zeal and the love of the music just put me in that spot. With a kid like Dave, there's a boy. He was in high school. when I met him, same as Stash. I actually met him through Stash. And I loved the kid from the moment I met him. He wasn't singing as well as he started singing well. He wasn't writing music at all. He just sat there in the studio trying to learn. And anyone who's dedicated like that, like they just get like...
Just want to learn.
Like he just wanted to learn, like he was a studio rat. My first album, people don't... He's like on most of the songs, but he's not like a featured artist. He's just doing like backings here and there, like adding some harmonies and whatnot. And I spent a lot of time with him just trying to get like his pen game where I thought it needed to be. Then there was a time he played me. There was and I remember this because I told Slap, I was like, yo, there's this kid, man, we need to sign him. And Slap really wasn't like sold on the idea in the beginning.
Had you listened to his music?
A few songs here and there. So I thought to myself, I'll use the feature route. I'll use like the features route to get him
Noticed.
To get him noticed. So I remember we did a song called Next to You. That was like what launched him. We did a song called Next to You.
Wake up next
that
to
was on
you.
like on my first album.
Song,
but we were working on like a bunch of songs at the time. And then there was another song that he played me. He was like, yo, I wrote this song. I think you should put it in your album. And I heard it. I was like, here's the thing. Next Year has already blown up. I think another rapper should jump on this record. I think it would be better that way. And I was like, word. I was like, but who can we get? I was like, I don't know. So I told Stash, who was doing some production for Sheffy at the time. I was like, yo, when the dude comes through, just like play this record, man. See if he likes it. And they played him the record, and like the rest is history. That record was called My Ears. And that's what solidified him to the point where he got features with Slap, with all of these other guys. And it was just like an upward, like for me, there was just nothing more beautiful than just watching like his growth
into his
meteoric rise from seemingly
like
nowhere.
Just, like
you know
his growth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted nothing in return till this day. Nothing at all. But I was sure, I was like, yo, if someone is ever going to break like the barrier into Africa, it would be Dave. And they started working on his album, and that thing was beautiful, man.
Where's the album must have been worked on?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then I was on I think I was in Solwezi at the time. I went to do a show with Nez Long. And then this guy kept on writing on my, like on Facebook, please call me on this number, it's about Dave. Please call me on this number. But I'm like, oh, Dave is a singer. Singers get up to all types of mischief. Maybe it's just one of those things. But this guy insisted. So something just told me, no, call him. So I called this guy. He's like, I'm not sure, but there was a car that Dave was in. He was driving, but that car has crashed. And someone is dead. We just don't know whether it's Dave or it's someone else. I need to find out. At that point, now I'm freaking out. I'm like, bro, can you go and find out? It takes them like maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah. He gets back to me. He's like, some people are dead, but with Dave, I don't think he is because he's not there. Then I get another call. And this dude is like, no, what actually happened is that the other people are strapped in. So because the car kind of flew off the hill. So but his body flew out of the car.
Damn. He wasn't buckled in.
He wasn't buckled in.
So was this before or after the show that you were?
Yeah, this is before.
Yeah. Or before the show started.
This is before the show started.
That's the time.
So now I'm telling this promoter, I'm like, bro,
I can't do this.
I can't do the show. I need to go back to Lusaka. And there's like people are gonna break things at the venue. There's over 1,000 people.
It's always like that, yeah.
I'm like, bro, I can't. There's a video online. You would find it if you search for it. At one point, I felt bad for the guy. I was like, okay, let's go. Nez and I went there, no security. We went on stage. I was like, listen, guys, we can't do the show. We apologize. we'll be back, blah, 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 blah. And we walked off the stage. Most of the people were cool with it, but there's always like maybe 10, 15 people who are a bit unruly. Yeah. They started chasing the car and doing all types of nonsense. But we started off, we arrived in Solwezi the same day, and we started driving back.
That's 1,000 kilometers in one day, man.
Yeah.
So you got confirmation before you left that he had actually died?
Yeah.
I can imagine the drive.
The drive was horrible.
What's going on in your head the entire time?
The drive was horrible. I had like a bottle of vodka, and I just opened it. I just started drinking it.
And you chugged it down?
Just started chugging it.
Shikes, man.
You posted... you want to say something?
No.
You posted, I think that was like after the funeral, a day after the funeral, talking about how a bigger crowd showed up at his funeral than any other gig he had ever done. Something to that effect. Almost as if it was a complaint about how people didn't really show up for gigs in those numbers when he was alive.
I was hurt, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was hurt. I was just going through the motions. Obviously, when there's grief, it's like how people say, you can't contribute for a person while they're still alive and whatever. It's because death is final,
Yeah.
And I think that's the moment that a lot of people realized how talented he was. I was just hurt because I had known that for the longest time, and I had wished that people would have thought the same and they could have felt it when he was alive. I know he knew he was loved, but those numbers
were astronomical, man.
Those numbers,
I felt like the whole city showed up. Yeah.
Those were crazy. I've never seen anything like it. They broke some of the windows at the cathedral. We had to get security to walk to the gravesite. That's how massive it was.
Did you get any grief counseling?
No, I probably should have. Honestly, thinking about it now, I probably should. Off my brother and off Dave, I think there's some stuff I still need to deal with. Yeah.
Because this shit is seared in your brain. You might think that I'm over it, but it affects your relationship with people and yourself as well. So I'm really big on therapy and counseling, because it's very difficult to go through what you went through and remain the same.
Yeah. No,
You've been through so much in the past 4 years, man. Your young brother.
I have the most, it's insane. There's so much stuff that people don't know. If I was to write a book or something, it would look like fiction. Sometimes I sit, I'm like, why does the craziest stuff happen to me? Just insane, out of a movie. I'm like, yo, how did this happen? But like I said, if it's got nothing to do with people I really, really love, that's why it's made me so immune to a lot of bullshit. It really, really takes a lot to get me upset.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to bring me down. It takes yo, man, close 20 doors and I'll find a way. I always find a way.
Speaking of doors, there's a time you met with Sway.
Yeah.
You were with Kachinga. Kachinga sort of did a demo for him. Why didn't you do anything? You guys were on the front page of the paper that week.
Yo, Kachinga is
yeah.
Kachinga is one of the bravest guys I've ever met.
He's a popular guy. What do you expect?
So I'm there. I'm like, yo, this is Sway.
Yeah.
I'm there. This is Sway.
At the consulate gig, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm gonna spit, and all of us are raising our hands. He points at Kachinga first, and Kachinga does his thing and whatnot. After that, the meeting is. I'm like, oh damn, I never got to spit for Sway. The thing I can do is push for a meeting. And that's why, like I said, I always find a way. So I pushed for a way to meet him and had the talk with him, told him about Zambian rap. I gave him a playlist. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kachinga kind of he was clever in that. Shout out to Kachinga, man.
For those who don't know who Sway is, that guy, radio presenter, major...
Sway in the morning?
Yeah. Radio presenter, TV presenter. And I think a lot of us music lovers in late 90s, early 2000s grew up on... We hang on Sway's every word on TV. If he tells you this rapper is good, you start listening to that rapper.
How Sway?
You know what I mean?
I wanted to say, he's responsible for the most iconic Kanye interview.
Yeah.
And Kanye's had a bunch of iconic...
Yeah.
So many tantrums.
That one. I bought you your first TV.
Did you watch that? You didn't watch that? How Sway? You don't know what he's talking about?
No.
It's like, bro, I bought
check it out on
you,
YouTube, yeah.
your first TV.
Who bought who a TV first?
Kanye bought
Sway a TV. Wow. Only Kanye. Special guy. So I'm trying to imagine the conversation between you and Sway in the background. It wasn't just about the top 10, was it? I mean, what did you talk about? It's the biggest name in entertainment.
Entertainment. So I was just trying to like put him on because that's in South Africa. So he knows a bunch of South African rappers.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you need to expand the people that you bring on your show because all of the rappers you bring on are either from South Africa or from East Africa. Africa is huge. Personally, I'm from Zambia. And there's some of, like I showed him like critic music, like I tried my best to sell everyone that I could, hoping that someone would get an invite.
Speaking of critic, there's some issues about the song Bwetu Bwetu. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Bwetu Bwetu by Wills, you open with the line, "What I hate, whack-ass rappers, always tweeting-ass rappers, attention-seeking rappers, say something bad, and they retired ass rappers. Repeating all the ladies, you bunch of crybabies, opposite Yamasavo." Word on the street is those lines touched critic because he was retired then, and he tweeted a lot. Did you have him in mind when you wrote those lyrics?
No.
Okay.
There was a time when a lot of like backpack rappers, if I can call them that, like they really they hated my guts. Like I was the easiest target to go after, like, yo, blah, blah, blah. It was like a bunch of people. So I was like, I don't have the time to go and like this one person at a time. I'm just gonna put all of you and I'm gonna write my verse and whoever the shoe fits, that's that nigga.
Wear it.
But when it comes to Critic is good people, man.
I love Critic, man. I'm waiting for the day where Critic blows up to,
He's just super, super competitive.
And super talented.
He's very talented and super competitive. Like he takes hip hop, like he takes it. That's his child.
Yeah.
That's his child. He takes it personally. You know what I mean? Whereas I am a bit more. I think maybe that's why like the rappers don't fuck with me sometimes is because I'm a bit more blasé about it. I'm like, yeah, hip hop got me this far, but how far can I go if I like do some dance records or some love records or whatever because I'm a capitalist.
And should we take your lyrics literally?
I love this guy's honesty.
He's a capitalist.
Yeah, this is hands down one of the best interviews I've had. Honesty. Honesty. If you watch the KB interview, man, this guy just walked in and there's a whole bunch of no.
I can't talk about that.
Throwing his tantrum. Have you performed outside the country?
Yeah, I have. One of my first shows was in, believe it or not, Russia.
Russia?
Damn.
Russia.
What is that doing in Russia?
How did you go to Russia?
Yeah.
My Fiompe Boss was, and that's the only record I had. It was such a big song with the students in Russia that they invited me.
The Zambian students in Russia.
In Russia.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I went there and it was
And they
packed.
brought all their African friends along.
All the African friends, they took me on a boat. Like it was dope, man. I was like, yo. And I think that made me reluctant for a bit because I thought like, yo, I've blown up.
That's me in Australia, man. The time I was Books to go and DJ in Australia, I felt the same way. Zambians turned up with all their other friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Went on a boat cruise.
Yeah.
I know the feeling exactly.
I was like, I'm diddy now.
I don't know how you dealt with the cold, bro. But you're light skinned. I'm sure that
it was cold,
naturally.
man. And that is where like I'm drinking vodka right now. That's where like the vodka. This like blonde chick was like, drink a shot. Okay, cool, whatever. And that's like, vodka guy ever since.
Interesting.
Russia.
So which other country have you been to that you actually really took away that was memorable outside Zambia and Russia?
Well, the other country I went to, it wasn't for work. I went to Mauritius. I wasn't going to perform there. But when I got there, I didn't know that there's actually a Zambian community in Mauritius. I went there just for some other random stuff, and then we went to this club. Like, oh. And over there, like it's Africa, but they're saying, no, this is a superstar from Africa. So
because they're on the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, so the club promoter's like, you're a superstar from Africa. Can you do like an appearance? What for us? I was like, whatever, man, pay me. So the following day, he made this flyer. I was like, maybe 15, 20 people will come. But yo, man, the Mauritians, very nice people.
It got packed.
They love to dance. Like, there's Zambian songs that play there on a regular. Mampi,
I remember Mampi did a show there about 5 years ago.
Mampi is big in Mauritius, so is Roberto.
Wow.
Yeah, Roberto's marketed himself so much, like outside the country. We don't appreciate that guy enough in this country,
Nah,
man.
we don't.
But why?
When I meet him, I tell him, I'm like, yo, good for you, bruh.
But and then again, I'm sure this happens to you a lot. Yet the more, and you get that stare that your Zambian fans will give, like they've recognized you, but they'll not bring the love to you, like show it to you.
Yeah.
You get that a lot the more. Huh?
Yeah, I get a lot of that.
Do you really? Because you strike me as one of those people that has surpassed that barrier where people would lose their marbles when they see you.
Zambians don't do that, man.
Well, some do. No.
Once.
Well, no, man. I really don't wanna hate on the fans. Like they show so much. There's way more love than there is. Like
No, I mean like the love we
What's
see in movies.
yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you
Yeah,
mean.
I get that, bro. There's a girl that fainted on the Copper Belt.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Damn.
She fainted, and I felt so bad.
So did you stop and help?
What?
Did you stop and help?
Yes, of course I did, bro. I'm not a
So
monster.
she wakes up, sees Bobby faints again.
And she was so sweet. She's like, I'm so sorry. I just love you so much. But I'm like, yo, I'm.
So she's apologizing for fainting?
Yeah.
She's so polite.
No, that's something else I wouldn't do.
Wait, I wanted to find out. When you spoke of Zika's, what did you study there?
Marketing.
Did you finish?
I did.
Okay.
So I'm like a proper. That's probably what I would be doing if I wasn't.
Don't be like this dude here. This guy here wasted a year in, was it college or university, only to drop out. Let me tell you something, Kalinga. Stop looking at the laptop. Your ass could have easily have just dropped out of high school because you essentially just wasted a year. You could have started working and done something.
Here's
in that
the
year.
thing. I know this has been coming up. I saw this on the comments as well from our last episode where there's just the two of us talking about where we come from. And I spoke about how I didn't want to be in college because I already knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a DJ, radio presenter.
Yeah.
And me coming to college, it's not that I came and just wasted my parents' money. I didn't want to be in college in the first place.
What did you enroll for?
Business administration. I did 1 year of it.
The easiest shit. You might as well just sign up for secretariat.
No, business admin easy. Let the people hear you saying that. Easy.
Yeah, it is.
No, man, come on. There's every look on that course. You know what that means?
Though to defend you a little bit,
Yeah.
I did a year, and then I went to the Copper Belt. I quit for a while.
That's very
So I
comforting.
only
No, it's not because you finished, right?
I finished online. Like I never went for class after that. I finished online.
Wait, the sex tape, when did it come out? Were you in college then?
No.
Okay.
So this is what happened. I did my first year of college. Then I went to the Copper Belt, and we did my film proposal. I came back. That's when that happened. So like afterwards, I only went back for like 3 other courses that I needed to do my diploma, and then for the degree, I did that online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You spoke of the last episode that we did, where we had a review.
Yeah.
Sorry to digress a little. So I don't know if you watched it.
Which one?
We had an episode, just Kaling and I, where we were speaking about all the other episodes, the 12 episodes, and I've got no idea how. I'll blame Abigail. We forgot to review the Lulu Hanga.
The Lulu episode.
And when I tell you that people tore us a new asshole in our backs, people came after us like, how dare you forget the Lulu interview? So apologies
Lulu
for
is
that.
beloved.
My man.
And then we forgot to review that episode.
And we forgot to review
Lulu
that
is
episode.
you do not mess with Lulu.
You don't.
Yeah.
Her people will come for you.
She's like the Beyonce of Zambia.
They
Like
will,
with the shoes with the
they
beehive.
will mess you up.
Man. So I also,
And
that's my camera, right?
she's such a sweetheart too. Shame.
Yeah, no, we're gonna.
Yeah.
In fact, we should do a part 2 with Lulu because there's so many questions that we left out because of
On the table.
Yeah. Time. Before we get to That's the Trivia, Bobby, where we get to know a bit more about you, just one more question, man. I'm a more person who listens to your songs critically. And which is why I asked earlier, like, should we take your lyrics literally? I'll give an example, your favorite song, by the way, for a long time. You say,
That's my favorite tune.
like it jams in a song alongside Jay-Z songs, which he only listens to Jay-Z. So if you're in his car,
And that's,
Only 3 Zambian songs on my playlist, and that's one of them.
I appreciate
everything
that.
else is Jay-Z.
I appreciate that. Well, cool. I'm not gonna punch you anymore.
No, thank you. I have my jaw ready and everything.
And the doctor downstairs. These are your lyrics on For a Long Time. I'm so broke, alo nikukonda milandu. And then on the same song, you say, I've been rich for a long time. Was this deliberate, the play on words, where you talk about being broke and then you're also rich on the same song?
It's context.
Okay.
So in the hook, I'm talking about I've been making money for a long time.
For a long time.
Once I go into the verse, like on that part I was talking about Slap. I was like, Slap D, what did I say? I'm trying to remember the word. Let me paraphrase. I almost said like he's too rich to fight you, but I'm still broke. So it was the context of what I've been making money for a long time, but not Slap D money.
Right.
Okay. That's it, trivia.
He was a little touchy about speaking about money.
Money, yeah.
It's like, nah, don't talk about money around me, man.
Yeah, man, that's what people with money do.
Right?
Yeah. So, but Slap, we know you're avoiding that question because you don't want to share the buck, bro. We are coming. Bobby, just to get to know you a little bit more, Z Trivia. So I'm going to ask you just 10 questions quickly. Mm-hmm. Which word would you use if you could only use one for the rest of your life?
One word.
Just one word.
Vanilla?
Food. That would signify to people that I'm hungry and they need to feed me. I need that to
stay
survive.
alive, eh?
Yeah.
Elson would love the word fuck.
I would.
He would. Why?
I had to pick like a useful word that would like
That
save
is
my
very
life.
useful.
No. Like, if I can put it in context for him, it goes everywhere. You're happy. You're sad. Oh, fuck.
You want to fuck? Fuck.
It works everywhere. Happiness, sadness, emotional, that it works everywhere. And I know Elson would love that.
Oh, no.
For the rest of his life.
No, you wouldn't?
One word and that would be it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Nah.
You're a better man than I am, Mr. East.
Nah.
There's a joke in there, the whole East thing. There's a campus joke. Let me work it out in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting, bro.
Are you from the East, by the way?
I am.
Oh,
but,
Bobby.
but that's not like the reason for the name.
What's
but
your
I
real
am.
name?
Robert.
Robert.
Chunga.
Like,
Wait, so but isn't short for Robert Dick?
no, it's Bob.
Oh,
Dick
it's
is
Bob.
Richard.
Dick is Richard.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well, I'm gonna know him, but that's what's.
my man.
We know what.
Let's continue
Anyway,
with,
moving on. Intelligence over looks. What would you pick? Intelligence versus looks. What would you rather have?
Intelligence, without a doubt.
What's your most embarrassing moment from school, grade school?
Grade school. There was a time.
I like when stories start with there was a time.
There was a time in grade school. Maybe I was in like the 4th or 5th grade, and you know I don't know if they did that to the schools where you went at, but they used to have like parade on the Monday, and you go there, and then they scream a bunch of stuff. It's like left leg, what? Like it's almost like it's a military thing. And this woman, I don't know what possessed her, because most of the time it was like the older students who did that. She grabs me, and I'm like this skinny little kid, and she was like, shout out the instructions, and I had like the tiniest voice, and I'm trying to scream. And it sounds like a squeal.
Like a little rat in the place.
Like a and everyone just laughs, like the whole school, bruh. That woman, wherever you are, oh man, I didn't like that.
Did it affect you in any way, like school performance and stuff?
No, not really.
Okay, I'm glad it didn't. Would you rather stay in or go out on a Friday night?
In, my God.
In.
Oh,
You and I both, my man.
listen, bruh, I've got people, I love people, but they give me anxiety. Like, there's times when I don't want to talk. And when that happens, people think I've got an attitude or like I'm rude. But I'm just in my zone and I don't want to talk. So going out, I'll be forced to talk to everybody.
I also kind of hate that sometimes. What's the weirdest text you received recently?
Yo, weird text. It's really hard because on my main, I don't have WhatsApp on my main phone. Can only like I've really limited the ways in which you can talk to me. If you want to talk to me, you have to like put in a little bit of effort, which is good because I don't like small talk. So yeah, it's very rare for me. Besides the profane material that's sent to my social media, sometimes I don't think I've received any like unwarranted text.
I was serious about your logins, by the way.
No, we can't. No.
So to talk to Bobby, you got to put in a lot of input.
Yes, thank you.
A lot of input. It's kind of weird that we actually got to you in one call. Were we very lucky? Like, does that happen often?
No, like
Yeah.
if someone is calling me, I don't know who it is, I pick up. I pick up.
Okay.
But then when it's like, there's just some people, man, they just want to be all up in your business all the time. Like, yeah, man, I utilize that block button a little bit. I'm sorry.
How many times has the heart been broken?
Kambiri.
What's been the worst?
What's been the worst heartbreak?
Like what happened?
I'm not gonna give her the satisfaction. She
I
should
was not
watch.
expecting that.
She should watch this and say, "No,
Yeah,
I'm the one."
that
who-
was me.
I'm the one who messed him up. Moses once.
But
Mulunga could daddy
you
say,
cried, eh?
Did I cry?
Thug tears.
Have I ever cried? Nah, no tears.
What's the fanciest event you've ever attended or been invited to?
Fancy. I was once invited to this like gala thing with some Australian guy who's like a billionaire or something. That place was that was fancy, man. It was fancy. Like they had like gift bags, and in the gift bag when you're leaving there was like a tablet, bro.
Damn.
That's a billionaire party.
It was like a tablet, and there was like hundreds of people there, like a tablet and some other stuff, like cufflinks, like it was
major.
it was major. I was like, people are rich.
Damn.
They're proper rich.
Let me sneak in one or two. Okay, go ahead.
No, feel free. Sneak in
Worst
one.
rumor you've heard about yourself?
Yeah.
West rumor. The worst rumor. I don't know if it's the worst one, but I think this one annoys me a little bit. It's a womanizer rumor. Which
Crap, I've heard enough this week alone.
which just kind of annoys me. I'm like, to what extent? Like, do I date like more than the ordinary man? No.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's just like when the name is mentioned, and I just think it just goes down to a little bit of like the female attention I get. It doesn't mean that when women compliment you, then you have to go after them and like do shit with them all the time. You get what I mean?
Because there's a rumor about...
And at my core, the one thing that makes me happy in life is being like a family person.
I'm coming to family in the next question, but just, dispelling a few rumors here before we move on. There's a rumor about Bobby East. Of course, kind of falls into the womanizing bracket. Bobby East is always being kept by women. He moves from one home to another, 3 months there. This girl dumps him or something. They end the relationship, moves to another chick's house. And these chicks keep him and pay his bills and things like that. What's
Like
that
the
about,
Tinder
man?
swindler.
Yeah, like a Tinder swindler. Simon Levive.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard
And
in my
that's
So
the
life.
worst.
that's the worst.
So that's the worst now.
That's
yeah.
I've heard the womanizing one. I've
Yeah.
never really heard that one about being kept. That is,
Dude, that was making the rounds like crazy right now.
I have never heard that story before.
People
in
actually
my-
placing you at some house in Ibex or at some corner where you're living with some chick and she keeps you. Yeah.
Bruh, I make a comfortable living to the point where I don't need to swindle women. In fact, I'm the spoiler, not the spoilee. So whoever says that shit, is and that's like, I just think it fits into a narrative.
Yeah.
It fits into a narrative that would make sense to somebody. If I looked a certain way, I don't think anyone would ever say that.
Vanilla Rob.
Yeah, it's because of the image that I portray.
Yeah.
I dress nice. Like,
I like the shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Like, I just have a little bit of swag, and that falls into the pocket of this person is being kept. And I like bro.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers, man.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. I don't need the chicks' money.
Who would you say the most famous person that you have in your phone is?
Most famous. Ooh.
Do not restrict yourself to Zambia.
I don't wanna offend anyone, so I'm trying to go. So if I mention like someone,
No, but famous is relative.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Don't restrict yourself to Zambia.
Do you know what the thing is with me though? I honestly don't know. Like, I'm not super close with like people I am in the same like
Industry with?
Yeah, like my friends are normal people. Like they don't sing. They
Like
don't,
me and Elson.
Because I'm in your phone, so I don't count as
But are you the most famous person in there? Because
that I know of. Yeah.
that like there's I don't know, man. There's Mampi in there. She's pretty famous.
Yeah, I mean, she's got big gigs in Mauritius. So
There's one other thing that I want to know, and I'm done. I promise, Kalinga.
Dude,
You got backlash for the elections, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
How was that? Because we spoke to Slap about that.
a proper thrashing. But
A
it's the same.
whoop-ass.
It's the same thing I told Slap. I was like, yeah, first time.
I'm used to this.
I was like, bro, first time.
Well, that's what broke his backlash virginity, right?
Yeah.
For him, yeah.
No, he had another one with the guy. You are lucky, and whatnot. You are lucky. I said hi to you. That guy.
Oh, that one broke
The Twitter thing. Jesus, I also got dragged on Twitter for that.
Oh, crap, yeah, because you mentioned
Yes,
Twitter people it's a cesspool of idiots.
yes. And I got dragged for that. I don't know if did you see that?
I saw that, and I saw the dragging as well.
I don't know why you're laughing at my pain here. You enjoyed that, didn't you, Bobby?
First time.
No, bruh, no, I've been dragged a couple of times before. And yeah, a couple of corporates came and said, "Are you gonna apologize?"
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, we had a couple of corporates.
Oh, but they're back, by the way.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
No, you didn't tell me this.
Bro, you have to understand one thing about corporates. They're fake woke. So they move with the crowd. But once it kind of simmers
Dies down.
they are interested in the
Guess
numbers
who's
once
back?
again.
Well, clearly, because he just told me that they're back.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah. What 3 things are you teaching your child right now? 3 values.
3 values.
Yeah.
Yo, kindness. Be kind. Be kind. Like my son is really, really kind. Like he's cocky, he's confident, he's my son. But he's really, really kind to people. Like he loves other kids. And if like he sees you and you look a little, do you want some water? Would you like something? Like he's that kind of
That
kid.
guy, caring guy.
So yeah. The one thing I just keep telling him is like never let anyone like take that kindness and then they take you for a ride. But be kind. I'm really big on him having knowledge. Like he is obsessed with learning new stuff all the time. So I got him like this tablet that has got like different subjects that you can learn on. But then he got the big boy one.
Yeah.
Because he goes on YouTube and he starts researching on like, there was a time he was obsessed with dinosaurs. I had to buy him a whole set, then he could come and you'd name all of them, or
Wow.
like planets, or like, and my son has got a British accent I've been trying to get rid
It's
of.
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig does that to the kids.
It is so
You get that, eh?
daddy.
Daddy.
He hasn't spent time around Iris, has he?
No, not that I know of, bro.
Okay, because we're trying to figure out where this British accent is coming from.
From Zambia.
Okay.
Like he's from a British.
I don't know why you're laughing, David. why are you laughing, bro?
That's in Zambia.
Like it's from a British, so I take him to another value I'm trying to instill in him is like, I think he's growing up way more sheltered than I did, so I just I worry about his streetness sometimes. So I take him to his cousins in Chonga, so that they can just pull him around a little bit.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
How much more time have you got? 2 minutes. Okay, is it 2 or 5? 2. 5.
Daddy,
Okay.
I just want to have some porridge.
Some porridge.
Any kid watching Peppa Pig.
I don't
that.
like Peppa Pig. Have you watched Peppa Pig?
She's rude. Like
Thank you. And I told Kalinga this. If you watch Peppa Pig, to
Makes the
anybody
dads
that has
look
watched
dumb,
this, because
yeah.
I watched one episode, have you noticed how they downplay and downtalk the father?
My son, like there was a time he like saying silly daddy.
There you go.
My daughter said the same thing.
They always downtalk the
Silly
father
daddy.
like, what the hell?
Bobby, if you were given the chance to make your one wish come true, what would it be?
My one wish.
One wish.
A gazillion dollars.
That would change everything, huh?
That change everything. I could stop world hunger and just like really ball out.
That's a very PC answer, though. The whole world hunger thing.
Sounds like a template answer.
I had to throw that in there in case someone is watching and they're like, yo, he's a selfish. Like listen, bro, like a lot of people like to like hide behind like being, I'm just like, who wouldn't want like a crap load of money? But the thing is, I am very generous, so a lot of people would benefit off that money.
Yeah.
Before I get to my last question, my second last one, and that's the trivia. Oof, I'm sure a lot of people want to find out about this. Have you made peace with Ronnie? I mean, she's talented, and would you ever do a song together, or would your current missus hate that?
Ronnie, I know that she does. I don't know what she's up to right now.
Right.
I won't lie. We haven't spoken in a while. It's just, I hope she's leaving all of this down. I hope that she's happy, and that all of that stuff is in her past. Because I think society is harder on women than it is on men.
Yeah, true.
So I feel bad for her. I hope she's doing okay. In regards to a song, I don't think that would be a good idea.
Wouldn't be a good look.
Yeah, going home.
That's why I did that.
Telling home, I'm like telling the missus, I did man, come on.
Yeah, the missus wouldn't take it very well. I'm happy you've mentioned that society doesn't take it well with the women. Like if a guy went around sleeping, dude, everyone's fist bumping you.
If a woman does the exact same thing,
she's a hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby, last question. Finish this sentence. Vanilla Daddy is
human. Going through a human experience. Sometimes are good, sometimes are bad, some mistakes. It's impossible to paint a person. Like imagine you took one very bad picture of yourself, and that's the picture that everyone just presents. You want a K+, that's him. When you've taken better ones. Like everyone just goes through life, living through the motions. I try to do more good than bad. Simply human.
Bobby, no matter what you tell us about, publicity, bad publicity, you hate that phrase, bad publicity is publicity either way. Or no what's the phrase again?
No publicity is bad publicity.
Exactly. I really feel like the person we see today turns tragedy into triumph, and you're the person that you are today because of the bad experiences that you've gone through.
Facts, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. And we really appreciate the person you are. And I think a lot of people can learn from your resilience and, the things that you've been through, and you're here today looking this good, Vanilla Rob. And I think that's why Fanta wanted you as the brand ambassador at some point. So nice skin, bro.
I hope nobody would call us sexist after this, because I got called sexist because I kept referring to the sex tape with Iris. I did the same thing here, so that balances it out, right?
No, it doesn't balance.
Yeah, the hell it does. You're the only two people that I know with one. We spoke about it with you.
Well, get Kim on here then.
Bobby, it's been real. Thanks for coming.
All right, man.
It's been real.
Remember,
our socials. Instagram is That's It Podcast. YouTube, That's It Podcast. Facebook, That's It Podcast. Follow us on those platforms. My name is K+, and you are?
I'm Elson. Wait, so let me tell you.
Yeah.
I had one person from Croatia, shout out to Dinkle. He says, you need to get a stage name because Elson is boring.
It sounds like a Chipata name, bro.
No, I'm happy with. No, I'm happy.
It sounds like a Elson band.
It's an okay name.
I'm happy with my name. It's an okay name, right?
It's okay. Like if when someone say Elson, you'd be like the only Elson people would think about.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
It's part of
So
branding.
I'm Elson. That's Bobby. Until next time.
That Z Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. We talk to Zambian movers and shakers, the change makers, the achievers. We also discuss interesting topics. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, That Z Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Listen to That Z Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Anchor. That Z Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. Hosted by K+.
It's K+, baby.